I've never really grown up, and is kind of what keeps me inspired to do stuff. With anything that you're involved with, it's what you're putting in is what you're going to get back from it. If you don't put the effort in, you're not going to get better. Be nice and help other people. Like, there's that thing where people go like, oh, well, if you're helping someone, what if they become bigger and better than you? Like, damn, I hope so. That's cool. I helped that person.
Hey, Heather. How's it going?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Great. It's been a good day, very productive. Hopefully the same thing on your end.
Not at all. Mondays are seldom productive days for me. I don't know why. I think it's like a weekend hangover where you're just like, but I really don't want to. By the end of the week, I get back into it. But usually on a Monday, no.
Mondays are the worst, aren't they?
No.
So I will go with the first question because from Anissa, basically. She says, what is your favorite project among those which you made?
Is that by any chance Anissa Genzo?
Yes.
That's my mentor.
Wow.
That's sneaky. That's really, really sneaky. Currently, my favorite is the project that I'm working on with her, funnily enough, which is The Witch. And I love it. And I've learned so much while I've been doing it. It's been a really, really fun project where I've had to kind of push my sculpting a little bit more and push a little bit more into the finer details on things, which is really nice. I feel like whenever you finish a project, you look back and you're like, I hate it. I never want to see it again. After you spend months looking at it, it's just like, I hate it. I hate everything about it. And as an artist, you're programmed to see everything that's wrong with it. So even though people be like, oh, it looks really nice, and you're busy looking, you're like, you see that pixel? That pixel's not where it's meant to be. So there's that. I think apart from what I'm currently working on the Wildcat, which is also known as the Vomit Cat, is probably my favorite thing I've ever worked on, just because it was such a weird concept. And who doesn't want to sculpt cats that vomit more cats? It's just every girl's dream.
Absolutely. So I wanted to ask you, since here's the thing. The people who are listening to this, we have to introduce them to you, basically. So I wanted to ask you, what do you do, and where do you find joy in what you're doing?
What do I do? I do as little as possible. No, I do everything, man. I do everything. I am a stylized 3D character artist. Originally, when I got into doing 3D work, I wanted to be an environment artist, but I got partnered up with my mentor, Anna, at CG Spectrum, and her passion for characters was so contagious that now I can't let them go. And so I blame her for everything. What do I find passion and inspiration from?
Joy, basically.
Everything. Life. Life. No, watching cartoons. I want to sound like I'm a really sophisticated, erudite person, but I'm not. I play a lot of games. I watch a lot of cartoons, and I've never really grown up. And I think that not growing up is kind of what keeps me inspired to do stuff. I kind of love that, in the background, my husband's working over there, and I can hear him having a conversation about big numbers and mergers and big important things. And I'm sitting here I made a dinosaur. And I kind of love that. It's really, really fun. And I'm really grateful to be in the position where I can be working with 3D and with games and with the people that are involved with it, because they're the most fun people I've ever worked with in my life.
That's so true. I wanted to ask you, and that's a question I ask everybody, how did it become to the level where you were interested in 3D? Walk us through your interest in your life, when you were in school.
Oh my God.
All the way to now.
It's a long and boring story, probably. So I've always been a nerd, and I've always been an artsy nerd, and I've always been a weird artsy nerd, ever since I was a kid. And then I grew up and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I ended up being a chef. And then from being a chef, I ended up working in corporate catering.
Okay.
And I worked in corporate catering for about 15 years as an area manager. And I did all these fancy things. And I worked in law firms. And I had the suit and the high heels and all of the rest of that goes with it. And it was great. And then there was this thing, I don't know if you heard about it, COVID. So, so COVID happened and I got put into a position of like, the industry I was in wasn't doing very well. I needed to find something else to do.
Yeah.
And I just so happened to be lucky enough to pick up miraculously a job in QA work within a game studio.
Wow.
Which back in 2020 it was a lot easier to pick up jobs in game studios. Everyone was getting hired. So I got involved in it. And while I was there, I made friends with a bunch of the developers. They, bless them, tried to teach me how to code. It didn't work. Coding is black magic to me. It doesn't compute. But I played around with a bit of code, and then I ended up playing around with a bit of the 3D work, and then I just fell in love with 3D.
Yeah.
So I'm really lucky that I was in a position where like I am and I was so well supported to get involved in it. So the VFX team was teaching me and they were showing me how to do stuff, and they got me really involved in it, which was, it was amazing. And then eventually I realized like, actually it's really what I wanted to do. So I signed up with CG Spectrum and here I am. Ta-da!
Okay, so when you signed up with CG Spectrum, you started pretty much from the beginning, right? Or did you have a little bit of background from before?
I had opened Maya like once.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm well known because I am the first person I'm more than happy to show people like, here is my atrocious work from when I first started. Just because I think it's amazing. I think people don't realize like you can learn this stuff. It's incredible. I can't believe how much I learned. I was really lucky. Like my mentor was incredible with me and she still is incredible with me. So I went from making what has been called the anxious looking chair into making the characters
that are still anxious.
I'll find a picture of it and I'll find you. I'm anxious now. But I'll find you a picture of the anxious chair just so that you can put it up there for your social.
That's honestly such a good name
but it's amazing.
That's such a good name for a game studio. Anxious chair.
The anxious chair.
It's because one of my.
Oh my god! Hold on, I'm just gonna go copyright that.
No. It's reserved already. Feature Creatures was asking me the other day. He's a guy who watches the streams. He's like, "What's a good name for a studio?" So if you're watching this Feature Creatures,
Anxious Chair
is a really good name for a studio.
I like it.
So you started.
I've got your logo already pre-made. I'll send it to you.
Yes, please. I wanted to ask you about when did you join with CG Spectrum? Was that 2 years ago, 3 years?
Oh, I think it was about 2, 3. I don't. Okay, look, everything from 2020 is a bit of a blur, and I don't know. I think it was around 2021-ish, maybe 2022. It was either late 2021 or early 2022. I can't remember. So I started then. I did the foundations course in 3D modeling with Anna as a mentor, which was amazing. And and I was very lucky when I got introduced to her, and like I wanted her to be my mentor so badly because I'd seen her work. So I was really, really happy. And then I also went on and did the advanced modeling course with her as well through CG Spectrum. And then and since then she just can't get rid of me. I graduated and I qualified and all the rest, and I just bug her anyway.
Her art is amazing. Where can people find her? Just if they're curious.
Oh my God. She is everywhere. She is all over Instagram. She is all over ArtStation. She's got many different names though.
Yeah.
So where can I put a link for you? I can put a link for you.
Definitely in the chat if you could do that. That would be amazing.
Let me shove a link in the chat.
Just so people know basically who your mentor is, and I've looked over her art and it's really
Anna's
really
amazing.
amazing.
She's worked for like Blizzard and Riot and all the rest of these things. She's
really
and she's a nice
stuff.
person.
Yeah,
Go and poke her. She's really friendly.
Now I'm actually thinking about.
I've got to sell Anna on everything that I do. Like it's just part of my contract with her.
Now I'm thinking about inviting her as well to the podcast one day. See her
store.
You
should. You should.
So yeah, definitely.
You definitely should. She's lovely.
Yeah, here she is. Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, definitely, you're definitely invited. But yeah, I wanted to come back to you and ask you about 3D, since you started pretty much from the beginning and not that long ago. Do you feel like your experience with CG Spectrum had helped you to look up beyond their services as well? Because that's a huge deal, right? When you're learning, that you will be able to learn beyond the school as well.
Yeah, there's a difference between following on a tutorial and reproducing a tutorial and being able to reproduce your own pieces. It's a huge, huge step. And I think, like with any, I think it's not just CG Spectrum, with anything that you're involved with, it's what you're putting in is what you're going to get back from it.
Yeah.
So, and I know that can sound like really, really obnoxious, but if you don't put the effort in, if you don't put the work in, if you don't put the practice in, you're not going to get better. It doesn't matter how many tutorials you watch. It doesn't matter which mentor you have. If you're half-assing it, you're going to get half-assed results. And the nice thing with CG Spectrum is that it is very much, they provide you with an environment to flourish. You then decide if you're going to make the most of that or not, and what you're going to do with it. So I am very loud and outspoken and very friendly and gregarious. So I just went straight in there and I was like, right, I'm making friends with absolutely everyone here, and I'm going to talk to anyone that I can, and I'm going to be involved in whatever I can do. And again, I was really, really lucky because I was in a position where my work at the time was really, really supportive. They encouraged me to be a part of it. My family encouraged me as well. Like, everyone was really good about it.
Awesome.
So I just, I was really lucky, really, really lucky. So I just went all the way in for it. And that's to this day. Anna can't get rid of me because she is now my friend, whether she wants to be or not. And the same thing applies. Like, Efren is now my friend, whether he wants to be or not. You just got to kind of put yourself out there. And the more you involve yourself in the school or the learning activity, the more you're going to gain from that experience, the more you're going to learn from other people. I'm terrible at watching tutorials. My attention span is so small. So I'm really bad at watching tutorials. I'm really bad at following tutorials. I think when I first started there, I got through the first term following the tutorials. I made the penguin, and then I thought I was very clever. And I wasn't, but I thought I was. So I picked my own concept, and bless Anna had to put up with me going like, no, I'm going to do this. She's like, are you sure? Like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this. Don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to make this. I cried a few times, but I did it. But I did it. It was fine. And from then onwards, like, I would watch the tutorials, but I would pick my own concepts and then work using that information, but then interpreting it to something else, which kind of helped me in the long run, because it's helped me also research things or ideas and, get the information from something else, but then be able to apply it in a different format, which is useful.
Yeah, and also having the environment to support you in doing exactly that. Because
absolutely. Yeah, and being able to ask people and say like, hey, so I tried this thing and it's totally wrong. It's completely broken.
Yeah.
Like, I've broken it. I'm pretty sure my computer's on fire. What do I do? And I think that's what's really special about what you do with your podcast and your entire environment, is that I love the idea that you're showing people like, you don't just do the thing. You fail. You fail a lot on the way to doing the thing. And it's so important to know that, because no one just walks out the gate and instantaneously like, I am now hereby brilliant.
Yeah, I think
you just don't. You screw things up a lot along the way.
Yeah, definitely. But I also think there's a line that an artist, when they cross and they become established, they are immediately viewed as a talented person, as this person that cannot fail, that will always produce these pictures, and or as a person that didn't really do the practice, they were just born to do this thing. They're just really good. And it's like, it's not the same way we think about sports or anything else really. With
Yeah.
artists, we always view artists as like, oh, they are really good. This is
Talented.
talented. This is
Yeah, they're
just pure
talented.
talent.
Yeah.
And what I try to focus on, especially when I have guests on the podcast, is like, okay, let's sit down, walk me through the blood and the tears, and like you said yourself, you cried a couple of times.
Oh yeah, I cried.
Tell me, like, I want to know how you killed your ego through the
You know about me
process.
crying? Okay. So, so you want to know how I overcame crying, or what exactly would you like to know?
I wanna know how you allowed yourself to fail, because crying means you've seen it, you were able to
Oh,
envision it, but you
yeah,
failed,
yeah, I
and
see.
you felt maybe like you failed yourself or you failed your
I
dreams.
Oh
And how did
man,
you
I've
overcome
failed
that?
so many times.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter at this point. Like, at that point, I mean, bear in mind, I was also sitting when I first got into doing 3D modeling. I was sitting on the back of like a 15-year career that had just gone completely down the toilet.
Mm,
I knew what failure felt
mm,
like. I was on board with failure. But the difference is when I was failing and literally in tears. I can't stress this enough, and everyone's going to be so sick of me saying this. I had my mentor
mm.
to back me up, and she literally put up with me in tears over why UVs were so difficult. And she sat there with me for hours, explaining to me and showing me and
It's awesome.
helping make sure that I understood it. And I mean, to this day, I kind of like doing UVs now. Like, I'm happy. I like doing retopology. I
Yeah.
like doing UVs because I get it and it's really easy. And she made it so simple for me.
Mm,
And that's when you're getting into something like this, find yourself a support network. Like, you find yourself that person or those people
yeah.
that are going to help you, because you're going to hit failure at some point.
Mm.
And if you don't have someone there to help you, you're just going to struggle against someone who can throw you a rope and help you climb over it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand. Also, your mentor is how to say, it's 50% of the learning process, or even more sometimes.
Mm.
How good your mentor
Yeah.
is, and their role is
Choosing the right
so,
one for what you want to do.
yeah, as well, yeah,
Yeah.
and like guides you beyond the time that you're paying them maybe, but also like beyond that, to have to establish this human to human connection to them beyond just the
Yeah.
work, and that is rare to find as
Yeah.
well. But I think it's the quality of the people that really matter here.
Yeah.
What we're both trying to say is like, mentor or no mentor, or whatever road you take, people matter, first of all, and
Yeah,
second of all,
exactly.
you're gonna fail, you're gonna hit the wall. Now, your strategy, it's like each person has to have a learning strategy. Is your learning strategy to fail and go back to the drawing board and do it on your own and try again and fail, maybe again twice, and maybe 3 times, and maybe 1,000 times, and then maybe along the way, maybe also create bad habits, you know what I mean? And then eventually, after a year or two, you're gonna find the right answer. Here's where a mentor could help a big time, because a mentor will see you
Yeah, absolutely.
almost blinded, right, hitting the walls, and the mentor's like, no, let me show you. I know, I've been there. Let me show you where to go. And that is really the benefit of a
It's
mentor.
exactly that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, exactly that. It's crazy, because one of the nice things, like, again, I'm working with Annie again on this new project. It's not a part of CG Spectrum, it's a whole separate thing. And I thought I was really clever. I was like, yeah, this will be easy, this will be fine. And she's still, to this day, she teaches me new techniques, new things. We find new things together and new ways of making the sculpt look even better. And that's fantastic. Having someone that's got that experience that can guide you and say, like, I see what you're doing. Here's a better, faster, smarter way of doing it. That's so cool. It's so nice to have. And again, find the mentor that's going to teach you what you want. If you are partnered with the wrong person,
Exactly.
it's it's a 50-50 thing. You can have the greatest mentor in the entire world. You can have the most talented, wonderful artist as your mentor, but if you are not giving, they're probably not going to give back either. So
Yeah.
being, even if you're paying someone, yes, it's a transactional thing that you're paying someone, but they're also just people.
Yeah.
So they want to see you flourish. They want to see you do good. They want to see you surviving and thriving and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And if you give them that, they'll give it back to you.
Yeah.
Like, find the right person.
Yeah, no, definitely, I agree with you. And I'm an ex CG Spectrum student as well, so
Yeah.
totally get it. And
Yeah, you're just getting all of us on here.
I hope so. That's my dream. My experience was different than other people, than the casual experience. I haven't found a mentor in the beginning, but eventually I've gotten there. The thing I regret is not saying anything in the beginning. So back to your point, where it's like they're just humans, and sometimes it's just one cannot communicate as well with a person.
Yeah.
Then that is totally legit and valid,
And that's fine too. Yeah.
Actually, that's
The nice thing with CG Spectrum is that, like, if you go to CG Spectrum, if you get partnered with a mentor and you go, actually, it's not working out with this person, they will swap you out.
Exactly.
They will, 100%. If you just say to them, like, I'm not happy about this, the mentor's fine and stuff, but it's not working for me personally. I would prefer to be with someone else that's more specializing in X, Y, and Z. They will change it. And being able to have the voice to say that is kind of important.
Yeah.
I know it's scary, especially like,
I lost.
Like, the mountains. Yeah.
I lost you for a second, but it's not a big deal.
Did I go?
I just wanted to say that, like,
no.
that is something CG Spectrum, I think, is so unique in than what other online or online colleges out there offer. It's this flexibility with what you're paying for as well. Like, if I found a mentor I really want to learn from, and then I contacted them and I pay them directly, it might just not click with them, and then what am I left with, right? But that is what I liked with them, is like, no problem. We have different teachers that have different teaching styles, and you know what? Sometimes some people need just different way of learning. They need, each of us have our own learning language, I guess, because there are love languages, but there's also learning languages. And mine is like, I need support. I really need that person that's gonna tell me, Jack, come on, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna show you a little bit. Yeah, I need that push. Other people don't like that. Other people might like a way of learning that is a bit more school-like, where that is your assignment, you figure your way into doing it, and then I'll review it afterwards. But that just doesn't work for me.
No, I'm not that person. I'm like a half and half mix between the two of those, where let me figure it out. Let me bash my head against the wall a few times. And then when I die, I'll come to you and be like, right, I screwed up. Please fix this. And then show me what I did wrong.
Yeah.
I'm more of a, like, I'm like a cat. I'll come to you when I've broken everything. And then you just need to pat me on the head and tell me it's okay and fix it for me.
Good job, Heather. Good job.
My God, words of affirmation, guys. Don't underestimate them.
So cool. So Heather asked me, your mentor asked me on Instagram. First of all, she says she's proud of you. So that is established.
My heart.
Second of all, she asked, what is your dream project to work on?
Oh my God. I don't know, purely because it changes so often. I think at the moment, with the industry being in such a flux, it's definitely changed the playing field a lot. I don't know that my dream, it's easy to say like, I want to work with Blizzard because Blizzard's really cool. Or I want to work with Riot Games because Riot Games is really cool. And they are. Like, I won't say no to that. But do I want to work for them right now? I don't know. I don't know how safe it is working for big time companies at the moment. Like, there's just not a lot of stability getting offered within the games industry. I think, if I got given the opportunity to work with any of them, obviously I'd say Hills, yes, I would love that. I think working for smaller places at the moment is probably your better shout in terms of stability. Um, I don't know. I mean, if we're talking like a dream project, a dream project to work on that's never going to fire me or make me redundant or whatever,
Mm.
or be subjected to layoffs, then I mean, I would love to work with Riot Games. I would love to. They
All
got
right,
such
shout
pretty
out.
characters.
Shout out to Riot Games.
Oh man, or Overwatch. Oh, Overwatch characters. Like I
Yeah.
think I spend a lot of my time basing my characters on Overwatch characters, so that
Mm.
would probably be like the standard thing for me. Oh, I'd love
I,
that.
I
It'd be
mean,
really fun, but I don't know.
yeah,
It's scary at the moment. It's scary to put all your eggs into one basket. Hence,
absolutely.
I do a little bit of everything at the moment.
Yeah, that's why the generalist, right? And I wanted to ask you, like, what
Yeah,
else
for
can you
sure.
do because your portfolio is character, 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 but there's a lot of knowledge behind
Uh-huh.
that, but people I think underestimate. It's like if you want to make a character, you really need to know a lot of things, especially in 3D.
Yeah, so I do lots of stuff. That's the awkward thing when people are like, so what do you do? Like I do everything, man. I'm trying to do everything because the more lots of little things that you know, the better your opportunities are and the better your chances are of finding something that you really are passionate about doing.
Mm.
I love doing characters and I love doing stylized characters. But, everyone came to me the other day and was like, hey, do you want to make a creepy ass realistic monster? I do. I do want to make a creepy ass realistic monster. I can't wait. Have I given myself nightmares about it? Yes. Yes, I have. but I'm really excited to do it anyway. I'm focused on the games industry. But ironically, at the moment, my
Mm.
main income source is from working in like films and animation,
Oh,
which is not what I was trained to do. So
yeah.
there's that. And then I do the 3D printing stuff as well. So I make models for 3D printing. I do tutoring. I do commission-based work. I do
Mm.
texturing. I do like you name it. I'm just getting involved in everything at the moment.
Yeah,
Oh, and I do environments for a game that I'm working with.
here you go. That's great. Environment art is also like it's tough, right? It's a lot of things at once.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Not a huge fan of making leaves.
No, you don't like them?
I find I get overwhelmed by environments, to be honest. Like I
They're
like
very
making
well.
environments
Yeah.
and I feel like you get to sit back and be like, I am God,
Yeah.
because look at this amazing environment I can create, which is really fun.
Mm.
But oh, bad when you get given a concept and it's this huge environment piece, and you're just
Mm.
like, where do I even start with this? With a character, I know where you start. You start with the body.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That's where you start. With environments, like there's so much. And I think that's something that like I don't think it's taught enough in courses and
Mm.
stuff, is the ability to like break projects down, plan your time accordingly, project management, basically.
Mm.
That's something that like it would be really good to see more of that getting taught in schools.
Yeah, I
Classes.
totally agree. Not only that, but also the fact that so you could go that route, right? You could go and start planning and having a really good plan, like you're a really good planner. But then you're like, nah, I can't go through this. It's too overwhelming. So there's also the fact that you need to plan in a way to make yourself small wins that you could, when you're struggling,
Goals.
they are little wins. You could start with them. They're not that hard to complete. I call them starters, right? Or Kickstarters, like small little things that you could do.
Yeah.
Let's you give yourself goals for every day and say, hey, if you could get to just do 3 leaves today, that is already so amazing.
Yeah.
But I think we all lack that type of planning,
Kindness
I guess.
for ourselves.
Yeah.
I think it's just kindness because we always put ourselves to, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm just a crazy person, but we all tend to put ourselves to like a really high level. And if you don't hit that really high level straight away, it's very easy to give up because you're like, well, I'm not good enough. That's the end of that. And again, having that support network where people are there to say like, no, what you're doing is cool. Like you're doing good. You're doing good. It doesn't matter that you only did a little bit. You did some. That's fine. That's good. Having that there is something that makes or breaks whether or not you finish a project. Like most 3D projects are months in the working. It takes ages. It takes so long to get the things done. It's not something that you usually just whip together, especially for your like portfolio pieces and whatnot. You don't just whip together in a few days.
Yeah.
You spend weeks staring at the same freaking thing. And sometimes you do just need other people around you going like, what you're doing is cool. You should be proud. And then it'll just give you that little burst to carry on working on it. It's nice.
I think the best.
That's what I use Efren for.
I think the best skill to master is one that could give you what is it called? Confirmation, validation, self-validation. And I think that is a skill that is hard to get because we always seek that from the outside. We seek self-validation from a person or from
absolutely.
a game or from a UI.
How many likes you get?
How many likes you get from social media, right? But if you find that validation within yourself, that is such a great thing. And I think I've hooked myself with that, doing the podcast and doing the Let's Learn streams every day, because I've made my worst case my best case, and I feel that was the key to my self-validation. Because before, my worst case was, no one watches my stream, and I would be definitely sad about that. But then when I said, you know what, my worst case is that no one is watching, but I'm learning, that's the same like my best case scenario. Best case scenario, someone is watching and I learned. Well, who's the utmost beneficial party here? It's myself. It's me.
Oh, I love that.
That's me.
I love that. That's so nice. That's a really cool way of doing it. Because like Efren and I both stream. We do Twitch streaming and all the rest of it, which is really fun. And I abuse him, to be honest. Like, I'm sorry, Efren. Efren's busy teaching me Unreal at the moment as part of his stream.
Yeah.
Which I haven't even checked to see if we've had viewers for most of those streams, just because I have so much fun with him, learning with him.
Yeah.
So, and ruining his day by not knowing what the hell I'm doing in Unreal.
Yeah.
But I'm learning, and it's fun, and that's all that matters.
I mean, it's such a good idea to stream your learning process with someone who also streams. And I feel like we three should really do something together, and like an art jam.
Yes, I'd love that.
Yeah, like
I'd love that. I actually came and watched one of your streams the other day. I snuck on to see what you were doing. And I loved it because you were stuck on something. And I had no idea what you were doing, by the way. Like, it was very complicated. I have no idea what it was.
Yeah.
But you were stuck on something, and it was just so relatable.
Yeah.
Seeing that and going like, oh yeah, I know that face. I've pulled that face. I understand that face. So it was just really nice seeing that. But yeah, like, you should come and hang out with us. Let's stream something. Let's make something. Let's do a collaboration or something.
Ideally,
I'm only doing 300 other things at the same time. Let's do something else.
Ideally, I would have, like, if I have money and if I have funding, what I would love to do one day is to create the Generalists as its own Twitch channel, and would have people stream together and learn something.
Do it. Together. Set up your Twitch channel. I'll help you set it up. It'll
Don't
be
worry
fun.
about it. Nah, I'm looking for funding. I don't want people to do it for free. So that would be the idea. That would be the premise. So, and I would love to actually pay the people who are involved. And also find a way to monetize it.
I love how you're so organized about this. It's brilliant. It's really cool. I just kind of hack my way through things and hope for the best.
Yeah. No, believe me, it's the same. It's really, so nowadays AI is such a topic. Like, it's gonna take our jobs. Of course, like, it's very very hard topic right now, but honestly, I have helped me organize myself because I've been able to create workflows and pipelines that help me keep my content going as if I have two or three people hired beneath me. You know what I mean? I think nowadays
Yeah.
it's a perfect time to kick off something on your own, to kick off that one idea that you've
That's
been holding up
you
on
know,
because
that's exactly it. That's like when you were
yeah,
saying like what is your dream project to work on? Like, I don't know, because at the moment it's such a shift. I don't know where it's going right now, and I don't know if joining someone else's project or making my own project is going to be the better way of doing things.
mm,
So so I get it. That's amazing though. I love what you're doing.
thank you. But yeah, I would ideally the content I would be doing is, you know, in game dev people have what is it called, game jams, right, where they create things.
Mm.
They could
It's fun.
develop a whole game maybe in a week or overnight. But I don't see.
We got when I licensed them, we got 24 hours.
Yeah.
No, 48 hours. Sorry, we stayed awake for 48 hours at a time just to make the freaking games.
Yes, and
It was horrible.
absolutely, I agree with you. But I don't see as much as like environment art jam. You know what I mean? It's not as especially not packaged within a course or within like within a workshop that you can attend online. Maybe it is available physically somewhere. I'm not saying it doesn't. It's just not popularized. It's not the main idea of a workshop, of an online workshop. The main idea currently of an online workshop, you maybe go in and meet other people, and then the mentor is talking about XYZ, or there are videos you're watching, etc. It's not that there's something bad in that, but it lacks this creation on your own with other people. It lacks the life element in it, and I feel streaming has a lot of potential in that regard. You know?
You guys have lives? Ew.
Life, say?
What is life? Next, you'll be telling me that, you know, there's grass outside and I should touch grass. I don't. I have houseplants. That's my solution to touching grass.
Well, same. I just stay at home for like a week, and then I realize, oh, I haven't seen the sun for a while. So when I look at the sun, even during the sunset, I'm like, whoa, it's so bright. Because look how dark the room is.
Yeah, the graphics outside are just so beautiful.
Yeah, one can draw.
I wonder which HDRI they're using for that. Wow.
Absolutely.
That's so sad. I think that is one of the biggest challenges within like the games dev industry is like, man, we spend too much time sitting here at the computer.
Yeah.
And it becomes really easy to do that. Which is why I shout out to Maxon and the ZBrush for iPad, which is going to become my staple. I'm so hyped about that.
Have you been dabbling with it?
Yeah. I haven't yet. So I do not own a single Apple product. And I'm going to end up having to buy this iPad, which I'm putting off because I don't know what I'm looking for, and I'm waiting to see what sort of things I want for it. But yeah, I'm really, really excited to get involved in that. I know some of the people that were involved in the testing for it, and quite a few people that are already using it, and just the ability to be able to go like sit at a coffee shop or sit in a park or go outside, sit in the garden, anything away from the computer would be an amazing change.
It's
being able to work on the go like that.
It's so the huge chunk of the work is like blocking out a certain concept, adding the very first detail and the composition of it, and the structure of the character. And I feel a lot of that can be done from a portable device, and you could sit somewhere else than just sitting in front of the PC. And then, you know, the final touches, you could add those using a PC. And the truth...
you can do the entire thing now. ZBrush has got you covered, man. You can do the whole thing on iPad.
I got that part, but like, if there is any limitation with the iPad version, which I could imagine that there are some limitations.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and you know, it's perfect for stylized art, I think. Not that stylized art is simple than realistic. It's just that realistic art might require more details, more polygons in the sculpt itself, right?
Yeah, higher body counts and stuff. Yeah.
And so for stylized
Mhm.
art, I think you're basically good to go with on the iPad, most likely.
I'm hyped. I just
Yeah.
want to go sit outside. I miss being outside. I grew up in South Africa. I grew up in game reserves. Like
Mm.
I used to have lions and stuff. This is weird sitting inside all the time.
Well, you can make your own lions.
Exactly. Well, I've got two cats. They count. They're
Oh
very
yeah,
small.
they're
Small
two
lions.
lions, basically. There you go.
Yeah, they both got big attitudes though, so it counts.
There you go. I wanted to ask you, what was so hard to learn, and not only that, but like, what was unexpectedly something that is hard to learn? You weren't expecting it to be hard.
Patience.
Mm.
Patience and repetition. It depends because like from the tech side of things, there's loads of stumbling blocks. Like as an artist that you're gonna come across as a 3D artist, UVs.
UVs, yeah.
Oh, UVs. Ooh, UVs, retopology. Those. I think the problem though is that they are difficult and they are technically difficult. I think the problem is that people will hype them up
Okay.
and tell you that it's difficult.
Yeah.
So you go in with this idea that it's difficult. It's not difficult. You're drawing little blue squares.
Yeah.
You're playing Tetris.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult. It's okay. You'll be all right. It's harder to do the artistic side of things to make your art have that emotion and the feeling that you're trying to project. That's hard.
Yeah.
That's difficult. But doing the technical side it's not. People will tell you that it's difficult. It's not. It's not. It just sounds difficult because people use big words.
Yeah.
That's what I like teaching people. Like I've got some students and stuff that I work with where I tutor them on doing little things, and also just to my students, I'm very proud of you. You guys are doing great. But I like being able to go in there and when you see someone that's like genuinely scared of a topic or a thing that you have to learn, and then just being able to like just try it, see what happens. Like, what's the worst that happens? You delete this one and you go back to your previous iteration.
Yeah, I love that.
So what? You lost a few hours.
Yeah.
Like it's okay. You'll be fine. You're making cartoons for God's sake. It'll be fine. No one's gonna die.
There's something about staying home and, like you said, dark room in front of a screen for too long that produces a lot of anxiety. And I feel like you really need to go back to reality and just like realize that what you're doing is not flying an airplane. Like you're not making a building.
Yeah.
Our job is actually
we're entertaining people.
We're entertaining people, and we should have fun while doing it, so it looks like it's fun.
Absolutely.
Too.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We are so lucky. And like it's easy to sit there and be like, games industry's broken. So many people have lost their jobs. I'm struggling to find full-time work. Paying my bills is really difficult at the moment. There's all these negative things. Today I made a sword. It was really fun.
Yeah.
It was very nice.
Yeah.
And then after I finished making the sword, I got to play Tetris for a bit. And once I finished playing Tetris for a bit, I got to color it in. That's my job. I can't complain about that. I can't be upset about these things. Like, yeah, life is difficult and the industry is a bit upside down at the moment. It'll come right. Things will be all right. Like,
yeah, I feel like a lot
fine.
of people get either. It's like you said, when people say UV is hard, the same thing happens with this aura of finding a job is hard and the current industry is so bad and etc.
Life is hard.
But like, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to like join the complaining or hear it and not do anything? Or are you like a lot of people I think
trying.
are lost with what they're supposed to do, and it's like keep trying.
But the thing is, it's not just the games industry. I think it's very. I think it's not just the games industry, guys. Everyone's having a bad time.
Especially the
everyone
VFX
is struggling.
industry.
It's Yeah, VFX, it's every industry. Like my sister works in pharmaceuticals. It's the pharmaceutical industry. Every industry is having a bit of an upside down time. Things are not going well. In case you haven't looked out the window or checked the news, the world's a bit weird at the moment. Things are a bit strange. So it's not just us. And what are you going to do? There's only one thing you can do. You could either give up, but that's not an option. So you just got to ride it out. And you
Yeah.
just got to make it work until then. Go learn something new so that when you come out the other side of it, you have an arsenal of new and exciting things to show people and go like, hey, so while everything was upside down, here's some cool stuff that I learned. Here's some
Exactly.
new things that I've got. Here's some new tools that I have.
Yeah.
And that will set you above someone who's going to sit there and go like, well, everything's broken, so I'm just going to sit and play video games,
Yeah.
which is what I do most of the time. But, so, balancing it out so that you are still just go do something fun. You didn't get into doing art or game design or code or anything along those lines. You didn't do this because you had to. It's because you wanted to and because you like it. So just remember that you actually like it.
Yeah.
You enjoy it. Like,
Also,
it's not all work, it's fun.
people should never forget that this industry is built on doubt. No one really believed in people who are making GTA, the very first one. No one was like, oh, let me invest in that. This whole industry is built on doubt. This whole industry is built on people who had to take risks and not enjoy their payday. You know what I mean? Like everybody had taken risks in the beginning. And that is, I think,
If
people, the
when
more
I
they
was
hear
19, if I told my mom that I was getting into games industry, she'd have been like, first of all, what is that? And secondly, no, you're not.
Is it gambling?
So they were just like, I'm sorry, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Things change.
Yeah.
And you just gotta go with it. You just gotta jump on and be involved in it and see what happens. While it's not 100% great, if it means that you have to pick up another job doing, I don't know, waitressing, whatever, stocking shelves, whatever, to be able to pay your bills, do it. There's no shame in that. It's
No.
just work.
Exactly.
Good. I worked as an electrician for a while. I wired houses.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, I don't think any of them have burnt down. I'm not
What's
sure.
that smell?
But it was when I first... Yeah, exactly. Just checking my lights are still on. No, but like when I first lost my job in the catering industry, I was working as an electrician by the day, and at night I was doing games testing. I set up a website and I was selling my paintings. Like that's how I ended up doing all these things. And that's what I'm doing now. It's like I don't have a full-time job. I do not have a full-time permanent income. So I'm just picking up whatever I can find and doing everything I can because that's how you get by. And the more of those things that you involve yourself in, the more you're learning while you do it, which is great. You got nothing to lose.
And I think the more of a generalist you become as well, because like you're learning you're starting to do things that you probably didn't train yourself to do, but maybe someone caught on your art and was like, you know what, this person can do really, really, really good hair mesh. And it's like maybe you haven't really worked on the specific details of what makes a hair works in a game, like the rigging of it or the simulation of it. But then you get that offer and it's like, can you do that, Heather? And it's like, let me check. Actually, I can.
Of course I can. Yeah, of course I can.
You know what I mean?
There's no such thing as saying, like, if you go into an interview and someone says, do you know how to do something? And if you say no, you've just wasted your time and their time. And I'm not saying you should lie in interviews. You shouldn't. But you should say yes. And then so help you God, go and figure that thing out that afternoon.
That's how
you're just learning a new skill.
A lot of great people started like that.
Just figure it out.
A lot of great
Exactly.
game devs,
Like
indie game devs, started saying, I just want to really develop this game. Do you know how to make this game? And the answer is almost always, no, I have no idea, but I really want to do it. And that is sufficient because that is the fuel that feeds the learning mechanism in your brain. And it feeds you up as well with dopamine. It's like, it's life, you know. When we used to be hunter and gatherers, we used to get hungry, right, or thirsty, and so we had to go through struggle. So we started walking to find a new area. That it was the pain, and then we found the area, we found the water, we drank the water, we got the dopamine that we needed. Struggle, than dopamine. Struggle and dopamine actually are very connected to each other. And I feel like this is very related. Like, even though it's related to jobs, but it's very related to the same circuit in the brain, I feel.
Oh yeah, there's nothing better than figuring something out and having it work. And you're just like, oh yes, yeah, I figured that out. I'm brilliant. Look at me, I'm a genius.
But wait.
Whenever I choose a project to work on, whenever I choose something for a portfolio, I always choose something that is going to challenge me. I never choose something where I'm like, oh well, that's easy, I can pull that together in the space of a week. If it's not going to challenge me,
But I feel like
why?
a lot of people
Why do it?
a lot of people get into the fact that they feel like an imposter. And it's like, why should you feel like an imposter rather than feel maybe like a cool spy? You know what I mean?
Oh my god. Okay, no, I love that.
Like
I
in an
actually love
action
that. I
movie,
think that's
maybe?
really fun. Yeah. I managed to fake my way here so far, so I can just carry on faking it.
Honestly, it's a lot of big personalities like Einstein had felt like he was an imposter. It's like everybody will feel that feeling. Everybody will feel like an imposter. I think everybody should give. It should be a given that everybody will feel that. But instead of feeling it in a negative way, then feel it in a cool way. Like, oh, I fooled everybody. I'm a smart ass. I'm a good hunter. Fooling is actually one of the main things that made us human. Putting traps.
Wait, it's like that usual thing where you grow up and the older you get, the more you realize that the adults that you look to had no idea what they were doing.
Absolutely.
And that's but the problem is we're the adults now.
Yeah.
It's us.
Yeah.
Guess what? We still don't know what we're doing. We're still making it up as best we can. And it seems to be working so far.
You grow up thinking like adults got their stuff together, and that, you know, if you get hired by a company that they will pay you and everything. But then you are a grown up, and then you get those offers and you realize that companies are not paying their employees, and it's like, yikes.
No.
So we're all just children.
Like overgrown kids, really.
Yeah, we're just children.
Yeah, especially, let's be honest, in this industry, like we're all just giant kids. We all just really like cartoons and video games and, you know, comics.
Yeah.
So like we like Marvel and films. And I think that's one of the best things about, like, for anyone that's on the fence about joining the industry, join it. You're going to meet some of the best people. Like, I don't think I've met anyone since I got involved in this industry where I've been like, ooh, that person was, bad. They're all just fun. It's all just like happy nerds making happy nerd stuff.
Yeah.
It's nice.
That's a good perspective to look at it, I think. And I feel like a lot of artists are so married to the idea that they want to earn from this so badly that they become desperate, and they literally fall into the trap of joining a cult almost when it comes to work. It's like, oh, I'll do whatever my boss tells me because that is what I need to do. And it's like, no, you're just making it a worse place, not just for you, but for everybody involved, because now you're working 12 hours. Guess who's expecting everybody to work for 12 hours? Oh, it's the boss. So it's like, you really have to be careful while working in the industry. Although it's a great place and you will meet the best people, but it's easy to get exploited in this industry because we have this passion that I really want to do what I like.
Industries. Yeah, I think that's any creative kind of industry as well. Because again, like I worked as a chef for many, many years. So you want to talk about long hours? Chefs. Oof, those hours are not fun. And you just work them. You don't get paid overtime. You just work and work and work and work. And the problem is everyone just does it. And you just need to be the person that doesn't. Because one or two people making the change and saying, no, I'm not gonna do the crunch hours. No, I'm not gonna work all weekend. No, I'm going to prioritize my family, which to me is really important, and it should be really important. You should never be put in a situation where you can't prioritize your family. It is just a job.
I think
it's just work.
A lot of people need to learn to say no, even in the most desperate times. Please. It's like one of the things that a lot of successful people say. The best thing you can do in an interview, best thing you can say in an interview is say no. because that's the most important time where you can say no. They would see that this person is not just here to get the job and get paid, so they're not a yes man. Say no, and you know what? If they don't take it, that's not a person you want to work with. I think
that's true.
now
That's
more
true.
than ever.
I think that people don't understand that when you're going for an interview, it's a two-way interview. You're interviewing the company as much as they're interviewing you.
Absolutely.
Like, it's good. Be nervous. Like, everyone's nervous for a job interview always. And you'll go into that and you'll be nervous, and that's fine. I, in my time, have interviewed many, many, many people, and I can tell you, I was nervous interviewing people. So again, that's one of the things that people need to understand. Like, people are just people. They're just people. It's okay. It doesn't matter who you're talking to. It's just a person. I did tech support at one point when I was working as a QA manager. I ended up doing customer support, and I did tech support for the South African government. And what are you going to do? Like, you just go in, they're people. I also ended up with like the French prime minister at one point on a phone call, which I accidentally started by saying, "Hey, babe," because I didn't know it was going to be him on the call. So there was that.
But why would you say, "Hey, babe," anyway?
Because it was coming in through the event organizer who I knew really well. So I picked up and I was like, "Oh, hey, babe." And I was just like, oh no, what have I done? He was really nice. He was really nice about it. He was just like,
maybe it's
"Hi,
a good
babe."
way
I'm
to
like, oh no.
Maybe it's anyway a good way to start.
Yeah, well, at that point you've come across as the ditzy blonde. You might as well just lean into it. But it's okay. I got his computer fixed, so that's all that matters.
That's so awesome.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you're talking to. A person's just a person.
Yep.
Just be nice. Just be nice, be kind, be good. Don't take advantage of people. Don't hurt people. And you'll do well in life.
It's like, it's such a simple rule. People are not their roles. People are not their job titles. And if they act like it, run the fuck away from that person. Like that. If the person acts as their follower numbers, you know what I mean, then it's
I think I've got like 3 followers, so I'm very famous. Everyone should just
you're already acting it out.
Exactly. Like, all 3 of my followers are out there right now.
That's the thing. It's quality over quantity.
I agree.
I'm just
just
saying.
be nice. Be nice and help other people. And like, if people come to you and they don't know how to do something, like, there's that thing where people go like, "Oh, well, if you're helping someone, what if they become bigger and better than you?" Like, damn, I hope so. That's cool. I helped that person. I taught them.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Also,
I think that's great.
Like, if everybody, how to say, give praise or to people, like, you're not thinking, I like to call it the boat way of thinking. Some companies are like, "This is our boat. No, you don't get to promote other boats." It's like, why are you thinking about boats? Think about like the sea, maybe. Like, you know what I mean? If the water is high, then all the boats can float, and amazing. But
exactly.
Your boat is not important. Your boat is irrelevant. You know what I mean?
It's like I've seen people on social media, because I mean, God, the one thing that I hate about being an artist is having to do social media.
Okay.
And having to record little videos and things. I'm so bad at it. And I forget to do it. But while you're on social media, like, I've seen so many people that do the whole thing of like, "Oh, I don't want to like someone else's post. Like, why should I like their post? They didn't like my post." Dude, go and like their post. They'll probably like your post. And then their followers will see your post. And then your followers will see their post. And then we can grow the whole community as a group, rather than worrying about yourself. Like, if you worry only about yourself, you're going to be very lonely. Very, very lonely.
Also, like, if people only will focus on algorithms and whatever, they will never grow an actual connection. Like, the first thing people want to do when they look up social media is like, how much time should I spend on Instagram, the minimum? It's like, it's not about that. It's not about that. It's about growing actual personal connection with people. And I feel what I'm doing now with the podcast, this is episode 8. I'm not looking to grow. Hey, bro, grow your social media 1,000% in 1 month. Who gives a fuck if it takes 1 year or 2 years? It's consistency that matters. Quality over quantity. Like, I would like to talk to a person at least a week. If that person follows me back, awesome. Like you said, build actual connection with people, you know?
Yeah, I love it. I
Yeah.
absolutely love that. I think that's really important. And like you said, and make sure that you're having fun and learning from it at the same time. Like it doesn't have to be a one-sided action of like, well, I'm doing this to grow my numbers. That's
Yeah.
the only reason I'm doing it. There's
Yeah.
other sides to it. Have fun, learn something,
There's
and also, oh, it's nice, my numbers grew.
there's
That's cool.
so much more to just the number of followers. There's just too much that you could learn from in one exchange with one person. Like today I learned from you, right? With this exchange is so important because I think like us humans, we grew apart from all the other animals because we can communicate. We can have an exchange and you can grow through my thoughts and I can grow through your thoughts, or you can challenge me and I can challenge you back. And with that, like you said, when you went to CG Spectrum, the first thing you made sure to do, which is ultra smart, and I would do that now going on forward, you wanted to talk to everybody. You wanted to engage with everything that was going on. And I feel like that is so smart if your goal is learning and getting to know people.
It's not just learning, it's with all due respect to everyone out there, it's never what you know, it's who you know, unfortunately. So you can have the most skills, and that's great. But if you're sitting on an island in the middle of the Pacific and no one can speak to you and you've never spoken to anyone else,
Yeah.
what does it matter?
Yeah.
So being able to create a network, joining networks, speaking to people, being involved, and not just posting memes in the networks, but actually being involved in those networks.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, please come to my networks, guys, and post memes. I will be very happy. But going and talking to people and interacting with them, I know, especially like we got a lot of nerdy people here who are really shy. I get that. I am. You would never believe it. I am really shy. But forcing yourself out of your comfort zone and talking to other people, you're only going to get good things back from it. Like no one's actually going to yell at you. No one's actually going to do all those things that you're thinking are going to they're not going to happen. You're going to be fine. Just go talk to people, and you never know, maybe that connection that you make, maybe that's what gets you that job that you want. Like the role that I'm working now, the freelance work that I'm doing with Legacy of Adam, I got that because I made a friend at CG Spectrum.
Yeah.
So that's how that came about. My current streaming that I do is with Efren. Efren I met through CG Spectrum, and I made friends with him because actually he posted a really stupid meme. So I take it back. Go post stupid memes. But like just go talk to people, make friends with people, and you never know what's going to grow and develop out of that. Efren and I work really well together because we have very different skill sets, but they match together really, really well.
Yeah.
So we managed to build big projects based on what both of us can do. We collaborate really nicely, and we're both just really weird together, which is fun. But making those friendships is what is more likely to put you into a circle or a position where someone says to you, hey, so I know someone that's got a job going. You might be the one for it. I'll put a word in for them. And that's all it takes. If you don't speak to people, if you don't make friends, you're not going to get very far.
I totally agree. And also, like, a lot of the value people put into things, especially money, is virtual. It's a virtual value. It doesn't freaking exist. So back to your point, go and meet those people. Go and talk to people, because your value is in the eyes of its beholder, And I mean that in a market way. I don't mean the value of your actual self. You should be the best person that holds that value to themselves and know it best. Don't put that into other person's hands, but your value in the market is most likely what people know about you. That's why you build a portfolio. That's why you make it easy for people to get to know you. That's why you introduce yourself. You maybe go on podcasts or whatever. You make it easy to introduce yourself for people to know you. And almost always, it is actually the case that you get the job from people that know other people. Someone who knows someone who knows someone. It's always been like that. Tribalism.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what industry you're aiming for, what job you're aiming for. That's just how it goes. You got a better chance. Just make friends. And people are inherently friendly. Like humans are gregarious animals. Like we're not that bad, most of us. I know there's some bad people out there, but most people are just nice.
I
I'm
think
nice. Come talk to me. I'm friendly. I
there,
swear.
there's also like the concept of bad people. It's always like the villain stories that no one talked to them, no one gave them attention, people were mean to them, and it's like it's funny how much a lot of the bad things can be prevented by just giving someone attention.
Talking.
Just talking to someone. It's like,
Caring.
why do you
Yeah.
feel that way?
Yeah.
And it sucks that sometimes we actually have to pay for that. Some people have to pay to talk to a person. Like I've had times in my life where I couldn't talk to anybody. Everybody surrounding me were either racist towards me, or I basically couldn't talk to them because of the language barrier, and so it was really hard to find friends. And I didn't make it easy for myself. I also was into this ego, like you just mentioned, like, oh, if I talk, maybe they're gonna make fun of me, and that comes from being bullied. That comes from a defense mechanism. But like, restore your hope in humanity. There are really cool people out there, and if you don't put yourself out there, you just simply don't exist, which is sad. It's like a tree falls in Mars. No one knows about it.
Yeah. Come hang out with the nerds. We're nice people, I swear. Don't believe all the stories you see online. Most nerds are really, really fun. I mean, like to this day, of all the games that I played and stuff, like I don't think I've met. I think the majority of people that I've met in games have been really, really nice, male, female, or otherwise. Like they've just been nice. I have never experienced that sort of like really toxic environment. But then I haven't played, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
just calling it out right there. Sorry, Call of Duty people.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair to choose your environment. That is totally valid. You know where you fit, so you just go there where you fit. I think that is pretty smart. It's like choosing your own tribe, right? And not go and try to change who you are just to fit somewhere. So you're so quote unquote
yes,
cool.
But you should also stretch yourself to go and fit in with other people and go and experience other people's cultures and ideas and beliefs, because that way you will grow as a person.
I think that is being open to new things and being curious. That's what drives that need, I think. But there are a lot of people that can or that would actually bend themselves over just to fit somewhere. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's causing a lot of issues than it is. Anyway, we've been talking now for an hour and 7 minutes. I wanted to ask you if there's anything you really want to talk about and we haven't mentioned yet.
No, we covered everything, man. Like, it's really nice getting to hang out with
Cool.
people. It's really nice getting to sit and talk about things. Anyone that's watching or is going to watch, if you're interested in learning about 3D modeling, or if you got any questions, come and speak to me. I'm genuinely, I'm a very open person. I'm very loud, and I'll probably make you my friend as well. So by all means, come and hit me up on socials or whatever. Send me nice messages. I'll reply, and then come and hang out. Also, come and watch Efren and I being absolute derps on stream.
Yes.
You are welcome to come and join us for that as well. And Jack, come and derp with us too. It's fun.
I would love that. I would love to create something with you guys. Like we can do like a 3 days project or something. That could be awesome. But hey,
oh hell yeah! I have got to sleep in between. I refuse to stay awake for 3 days straight. Like I am not 18 anymore. I'm not doing that.
Okay, so if anyone is or wants to reach to Heather, she's available on Instagram. But if you really just want to directly message her, join on the Discord server, The Generalists, where it's a community of generalists, artists, and devs and tech people who like to do art or whatever. People with curious mind, people who know a little bit about a lot of things. Heather, thank you for your attendance with me today. And for all of you, leave a follow or subscribe or whatever you want to do. I will appreciate it a lot. Heather, have a great day.
Have a great day. It's been so much fun hanging out. Bye.
Yes. Bye.